What's going on, guys? This is Lior and welcome back to the channel. Now, what I thought I would do in this video is whether you're moving to Boston or within Boston, I want to give you guys the 5 steps I would take if you're thinking about making a move. And it's going to combine figuring out exactly the vibe you're looking for within Boston, what kind of place you want to live in, what's important to you. I'm also going to talk about dimensionally what's important, right, in types of homes you're looking at. If you're looking to buy, release, and then kind of combine that with the best next steps to really make the transition as smooth as possible, right? So again, whether you're moving to the city and you're going to be brand new here, or you've lived here and you're just looking for a new spot or looking to buy something, this is going to be an awesome video that's going to go through the key steps I would take for myself. So with that, let's get at it. What's going on, guys? This is Lior and welcome back to the channel. Now, before I get into it, 2 super quick things. Number 1, guys, if this is your first time on my channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, make sure you smash that subscribe button for me if you haven't already subscribed. Helps the YouTube algorithm, helps more people see the videos, plus helps me, right? Motivates me to put out more videos for you guys. So make sure you smash that button. And number 2, guys, if you're thinking about doing anything with real estate around the greater Boston area, right? Whether it's buying, selling, investing, leasing, whatever it is, I still can't believe just how many of you guys reach out to me on a daily basis. Still blows my mind. So if you're thinking about doing anything, hit me up on email, text, Instagram, whatever pleases you, and I will definitely help you make the move. So with that, let's get into these 5 steps that I would take if I was moving to Boston or within Boston to really make the best call for myself, right? That's ultimately what it comes down to, is like, you want to find the perfect neighborhood with a perfect home or apartment or whatever, right? So these are the steps I would consider. So let's start with step number 5. So number 5 is figure out the kind of vibe, community, and area that you're looking for, right? And here's what I mean by that, right? Boston is very pocketed, right? Different neighborhoods feel very differently. We have neighborhoods that feel more like the burbs. We have areas that are more like hipster, that are closer to the city. We have areas that are like more downtowny. We have areas like the Seaford that are like completely different than the rest of Boston. There's just so much variety in the neighborhoods, right? So it's really important to figure out, hey, what am I looking for in terms of lifestyle? Do I want something that's quiet? Do I want the suburbs and like a large, large yard and not a lot of neighbors? Do I want to be somewhere where there's a lot of neighbors and a lot of like restaurants and bars right outside my house, right? Those are all really important questions that you need to figure out before you even do anything else. Other things to think about too is commuting and convenience, right? Are you someone that needs to be close to the T because you're going to be commuting downtown, or are you going to need to be close to highways because you're driving up north and south or east and west all the time for work, right? That's another thing I would consider. I'd also consider school districts, right? So for those of you with families or kids, if that's something that's important, make sure you take that into account too. Whether you're going to go into a place that has a good school system, or you're going to go live in the city and send your kids to a private school. Those are all decisions you absolutely need to make, before you even start searching for homes. Step number 4 I would take, once you kind of figure that out, is add the dimensional aspect of homes to your thinking, right? So, here's where you're going to start thinking, okay, well, do I want a single family for myself? Do I want a condo? Do I want a townhouse? Do I want a multifamily maybe, right? Different people have different objectives and goals, so get super clear about that. Also think about how much space do I want, right? Am I okay in maybe like an 800-900 square foot condo, or do I need a 4,000 square foot single family with a large backyard, right? Again, everyone's got different objectives depending on family, lifestyle, also obviously what areas you want to live in. So get super specific about exactly what kind of product you are looking for. Once you do that, it'll make your search so much easier, I promise, right? Because then if you've got your criteria narrowed down where you know like generally what pockets you want to live in, and you know generally what kind of type of house you're looking for, then I can start helping you guys out, or anyone else you work with, right? They can start setting up a specific search for you. You can avoid wasting time on like scrolling through like bad listings on Zillow, avoid wasting time scrolling on things like pre-foreclosures or foreclosures that are really not things most of us would be looking at. I can, depending also on the type of agent you choose, they can help you figure out coming soon searches, right? So you can really get super creative and specific once you have those things really nailed down. Step number 3 I would take once you have this figured out is you got to start looking at homes, right? And for those of you guys that are maybe not in the city or maybe moving to Boston, yes, you can certainly do virtual showings up front, and I've certainly done that with a lot of you guys. And virtual showings are great, right? Because, especially if you're out of town, you don't have to fly in all the time. You can kind of get a nice feel of the potential home or condo or whatever it is you're looking at. The one thing I will say though is at the end of the day, buying a home really comes down to a gut feeling, right? Just almost everyone that buys homes, right? Like they just get a gut feeling about a home, right? They get a gut feeling about the vibe of the home, what it looks like, does it feel right? And not only the home, but also the street, the neighborhood. That's all really important. And that's a little hard to get in virtual showings, right? So if you're out of state, even though I would we could certainly start by doing virtual showings. If you're someone that's gonna maybe not buy for investment purposes, but really for yourself to live in, for your family to live in, right? At some point I would probably try to come down, right? So you can really just get a feel of the different neighborhoods, the different streets, the different homes, because that's ultimately probably gonna be one of your biggest deciding factors is how do you feel about this place? Step number 2 I would take once you have that figured out is also get your financing tight and ready, right? As you guys know, the real estate market all across the country, but especially in Boston, is absolutely bananas. Single families are flying off the shelf, multifamilies are flying off the shelf, and I've done some recent videos for you guys where I told you that the city condo market now is on fire once again post-COVID. So everything is literally moving at super, super rapid pace. So if you don't have your financials tight, if you don't have your pre-approval in place, it's gonna be really, really hard for you, right? I mean, honestly, you might not even be able to go to some showings, right? Because there are some listing agents that ask for a pre-approval up front before even scheduling a showing. So make sure you get your financing tight, make sure you get your pre-approval tight. I've done videos on this, but make sure you use someone local. Do not ideally use something like a Bank of America or Wells Fargo. Great companies, but again, in a very hyper-competitive market like Boston, you want someone that's local, knows their stuff, knows exactly what's going on. Believe me, it's gonna help you tenfold. And finally, the step number 1, or the last step, is putting everything together, right? Look, whether you're moving within Boston from one neighborhood to another, or whether you're moving out of state or out of city, whatever, moving is a stressful process and buying a home is a stressful process, right? And there's a lot of different players involved, right? I mean, you have obviously your agents, you have your attorneys, you have your lenders, you have your home inspectors, you have appraisers and all that stuff. There's a lot of floating and moving pieces, and it can certainly get stressful. It can certainly, they can certainly get pretty intense. So, once you have all these other pieces kind of combined, figured out, put together that right team for you, right? Because that right team can make that transition process so much easier for you. It's just, you'll feel a whole lot different than trying to like organize and trying to figure out all the different parts of moving and buying and kind of dealing with everything in between. So put it all together, get the right team in place for you, and that way it'll be a much smoother and easier process for you when you move to Boston or within Boston and get your new place. Hopefully that's helpful, guys. Hopefully that kind of puts some ideas in you. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, make sure to shoot them below in the comments, and I will definitely help you out.